Have you ever stood in front of a holiday sale rack, overwhelmed, arms full of things you didn't plan to buy, and then felt both triumphant and a little terrified at checkout? That's basically what Black Friday looks like in the world of digital tools. Today, we're diving into a curated collection of Black Friday offers targeted at entrepreneurs and small teams, the kind that promises lifetime access, steep discounts, and the irresistible buzz of limited time only. Why does that sound both exciting and dangerous at the same time?
Chuckles. Perfect image. The digital sale rack. It's exciting because you see tools that could speed up work, fix a chronic pain point, or give you creative powers you didn't have yesterday. It's dangerous because, unlike socks, software requires time, maintenance, and sometimes a second mortgage if you misjudge long-term viability. Let's peel that apart. What kinds of products show up in these collections, and who typically benefits?
Good place to start. From what I see, the collection covers a broad ecosystem: marketing automation, landing, page builders, analytics, content creation, design assets, course platforms, team productivity suites, and little niche utilities that promise to shave minutes, sometimes hours off repetitive tasks. So who should be circling these deals with a credit card in hand?
The sweet spot is entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, bootstrapped startups, and freelancers who have concrete needs and limited cash for recurring subscriptions. Lifetime deals can make sense if the tool replaces a pricey monthly service or unlocks direct revenue. For example, a funnel builder used to sell a course, or a scheduling app that cuts admin time for a consultant. The trap is buying tools because they look cool rather than because they solve a pressing problem.
Right. So how do you tell the save money deals from the collectible gadget deals? Any mental checklist listeners can use while scrolling through dozens of offers?
Absolutely. Think of it like dating for software: quick courtship, long-term commitment. First, clarity of need. Can you describe in one sentence the problem this tool will solve for you? If you can't, walk away. Second, business model fit. Will this tool replace a subscription you're already paying for? If yes, calculate the break-even. Third, vendor credibility. How long has the maker been operating? Is there active support, a roadmap, or a community around it? Fourth, upgrade and integration paths. Does it play nicely with your current stack? Fifth, contract details. What exactly does lifetime mean? Lifetime of the product, the company, or your account? Those 5 checks trim a lot of bad buys.
I love the dating metaphor. Let's dig into one of those: break-even math. People often get dizzy with discount percentages, but forget the long view.
Simple math works best. Suppose a tool costs $99 on a lifetime deal. If the comparable subscription is $15 divided by month, you break even in about 6.5 months. That's a win if you plan to use it for more than half a year. But factor in adoption cost, onboarding, integration, training. If onboarding eats up 20 hours of a founder's time, put a dollar value on that time and add it to the $99. Also consider opportunity cost. Will the time spent switching to this new tool divert attention from revenue-generating activities? If the answer is yes, the free lifetime deal might not be so free.
So we have math and matches. You mentioned vendor credibility. How deep should we dig there? I mean, a small indie creator could be brilliant, but also could vanish next year.
Exactly. A few practical heuristics. Check for a product history. Is there an active changelog, frequent updates, or public roadmap? Look for community activity. Is there a forum, a Slack divided by Discord with real conversations? Read the terms carefully. What happens to data if the company folds? Does the vendor promise refunds or migrations? Finally, scan social proof, not the shiny reviews everyone posts, but independent mentions on blogs or in developer communities. All these signs reduce the risk of being left with unsupported software.
This is getting into the deeper, less glamorous side of buying, which is necessary. What about redundancy? People are notorious for hoarding apps.
Hoarding is real. You can end up with 5 apps all doing different flavors of the same thing. The antidote is a fallback plan. Before buying, map your existing stack and ask, can this new tool replace something I already use? If it's a replacement, evaluate migration costs. If it's additive, ask whether the marginal benefit justifies yet another entry in your toolbox. When you buy for capability, not for variety, you stay lean.
Let's talk categories quickly. Which categories in those collections most commonly provide high ROI, and which are more speculative?
High ROI often comes from tools that directly save billable time or reduce recurring expenses, automation for outreach, email marketing replacements, scheduling tools, invoicing or contract automations. Design templates and content creation accelerators can be high ROI if you're producing a lot of content. Speculative picks are experimental AI tools, niche analytics dashboards, or single-feature utilities that might be absorbed by major platforms later. Niche utilities are sometimes brilliant, but they carry higher extinction risk.
You're hinting at the platform risk, the danger a bigger player makes a free version or native feature. How should buyers think about that?
Short answer: assume it could happen. Build contingency plans. If a tool is critical to your workflow, prioritize vendors who are building defensible features, integrations, unique datasets, excellent UX, or a community that adds value. If it's a nice to have but not core, budget for the possibility that it might become obsolete, and avoid committing deep resources to migration or heavy customization.
We should also talk about ethics and fairness. Some buyers feel guilty about exploiting lifetime deals. Any thoughts there?
Interesting point. These deals are part of a marketplace that helps small makers get early users and funding. For buyers, the ethical angle is to be transparent about expectations, use the product, provide feedback, and participate in communities when possible. If the vendor is using lifetime deals irresponsibly, for instance, selling lifetime plans without a sustainable business model that's not buyer guilt so much as market signal, buyers can protect themselves by choosing vendors with realistic roadmaps.
Fair. Let's get tactical. Walk me through the moment of decision. You're on the landing page of a tool that seems great. What clicks do you make before hitting purchase?
Quick checklist in action. 1. Revisit your core problem statement. Is this a direct fix? 2. Find pricing comparisons. What's the monthly equivalent? 3. Read the fine print about lifetime. 4. Search for changelog or release history. A product with updates this year is more promising than one with radio silence. 5. Check community or support channels, ask a question, and see response time. 6. Look up cancellation, refund policy, and data export options. 7. Estimate onboarding time. If you've done those 7 checks and still feel good, it's probably a reasonable purchase.
Suppose you buy and later realize it's not for you. Is the refund culture usually accommodating?
Refund policy varies. Some marketplaces have a buyer protection window, some sellers offer refunds on demand, others are strict. Always check timing. 14 days is common, but some are 30 or 60. Document issues and file a refund request politely but promptly if needed. And if a refund isn't available, salvage value can come from learning, repurposing the tool for a different task, or reselling the account where allowed. That last option is murky legally, so tread carefully.
You mentioned earlier the hidden cost of time. Can you give a concrete example of a trade-off that surprised people?
Sure. Picture a small marketing agency that bought a new automation platform on a lifetime deal because it had flashy templates. On paper, it replaces a $50 divided by month subscription, but the agency had 8 clients, custom processes, and no template to client mapping. The migration took 4 full days across multiple people, plus hours of client coordination. The real cost time away from client work exceeded the monetary savings for the first year. If they'd run a pilot with one client first, they would have discovered the friction much sooner.
That's a great cautionary tale. So pilots and trials are essential. Any tips for running a fast, low-cost pilot?
Keep the pilot scoped. Choose one client or one project with measurable KPIs: conversion rate, time to publish, or error rate. Limit the pilot to 2 weeks or a single campaign. Document baseline metrics and target improvements. If the tool shows a clear, measurable lift or time savings within the pilot scale, otherwise, pause and reassess. Short pilots minimize sunk time and reveal real-world fit.
Let's zoom out. What are the longer-term trends buyers should watch in these Black Friday-style collections?
3 big trends. 1. Consolidation. Marketplaces curate a flood of micro SaaS tools, but consolidation occurs as successful products get acquired or integrated into larger platforms. 2. AI acceleration. Expect more generative tools and AI-assisted workflows in these loops, but also more churn as capabilities rapidly evolve. 3. Community. First products tools that grow active user bases around templates, shared assets, and maker ecosystems tend to survive longer because they create network effects. Buyers who understand these trends can prioritize sustainability over novelty.
You've given us a lot of practical rules. Can you summarize a portable decision framework that listeners can memorize and use on the fly?
Sure, 3 simple filters: fast, need, net benefit, and vendor health. Need. Can you state the concrete problem? Net benefit. Does total benefit, monetary plus time saved, exceed total cost, purchase price plus onboarding plus opportunity cost, within a reasonable time frame? Vendor health. Does the product show recent activity, community, and a sensible business model? If a tool passes all 3, it's worth considering. If it fails any, take a step back.
That's elegant and actionable. Before we wrap, I want to hear a creative or philosophical angle. What does the modern abundance of software deals say about how we work and value tools?
Beautifully put. The abundance reflects 2 cultural shifts: a tool-first mindset and an attention economy. We increasingly believe software can solve friction instantly, and marketplaces feed that desire with low-cost access. But time and attention remain scarce. The philosophical caution is to remember that capability without discernment can create more noise than value. Tools are amplifiers of intent. Without clear intent, they just amplify distraction. So part of smart buying is sharpening your priorities, not just your toolset.
Love that tools amplify intent. Almost poetic. Final practical tip for someone listening who has a small budget and a long wish list:
prioritize purchases that directly unlock revenue or save recurring costs. Use pilots aggressively. Protect time with onboarding limit, and consider investing in one versatile platform that covers multiple needs rather than several point tools. Finally, participate in the makers communities. Your feedback often improves the product and builds goodwill that can be worth more than the initial discount.
Excellent. To close, tell our listeners one question to ask themselves before every Black Friday purchase that will stop buyer's remorse in its tracks.
Ask, if this tool disappeared tomorrow, would my business lose revenue or lose time? If the answer is revenue, that's a strong signal. If it's only a convenience, weigh it against time costs and skip if you're unsure.
That's a powerful litmus test. All right, whether our listeners are ready to hunt for bargains or dodge impulse buys, they now have a playbook. Thanks for mapping the sale rack and explaining how to choose with clarity.
My pleasure. Go forth, be curious, but bring a checklist and a stopwatch. And if you pick something brilliant, tell the community good tools deserve the attention and makers deserve honest feedback.
Until next time, may your deals be useful, your onboarding short, and your ROI obvious.